Love often doesn't declare itself with fireworks. It hides in whispers, in glances, in the subtle choreography of two souls orbiting each other. Carl Jung wrote that what is most alive in us often hides in the unconscious, surfacing indirectly through symbols and gestures rather than words. A woman's secret love often follows this same law of the psyche. She may never confess directly, but her unconscious betrays her through patterns too consistent to ignore. The flicker of her eyes when you enter a room, the way her laughter blooms brighter in your presence, the moments she vanishes into silence, not out of indifference, but because the weight of feeling is too great for speech. Jung reminded us the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. When she loves you in silence, she is wrestling with that transformation, drawn by the fire of connection, yet afraid to expose her vulnerability. Hidden love is never empty. It leaves a trail. The task is to see it not with impatient desire, but with the eyes of depth psychology, where every glance, pause, and hesitation reveals the unconscious truth. Welcome to the Psyche Arc, where Jung's psychology becomes your compass and inner power becomes your destiny. If you are ready to uncover the hidden truths of attraction, master yourself, and transform your relationships, subscribe and step into the circle. Here, we don't just talk about love, we awaken to its deepest realities. Attraction is rarely obvious. Jung taught that the unconscious always seeks expression, and when direct expression is blocked by fear, social expectations, or pride, it leaks through symbols, subtle behaviors, and unspoken gestures. This is the key to understanding hidden love. What cannot be declared openly will be communicated unconsciously. A woman may hide her affection for many reasons: fear of rejection, uncertainty about your feelings, or the archetypal tension between vulnerability and self-protection. But the psyche cannot conceal its truth forever. Jung's concept of projection is central here. When she secretly loves you, her unconscious projects pieces of her inner world onto you. Suddenly, you become the carrier of her dreams, her fears, her longings. Her behavior changes, not because she plans it, but because the unconscious insists on revelation. We see this most vividly through the Anima archetype, the inner feminine energy that animates feeling, connection, and emotional depth. When she is drawn to you, her anima resonates with your presence, producing signals she may not consciously control. Softer tones in her voice, heightened attentiveness, or even nervous avoidance. Another Jungian layer is the shadow. Hidden love often carries with it the fear of exposure. To love is to risk rejection, and so the shadow urges concealment. This is why her signs may seem contradictory. Warmth one moment, distance the next. The shadow creates ambivalence, a dance between approach and retreat. Hidden love, then, is not absence, but conflict. Her unconscious is reaching for connection, while her conscious self shields it. To the untrained eye, this looks like mixed signals. But through Jung's lens, it is simply the psyche struggling between desire and fear, intimacy and self-preservation. And so the question becomes, how do you recognize when a woman secretly loves you but hides it well? The answer lies in learning to see the unconscious in action, through gestures, patterns, and archetypal expressions.
In the next exploration, we will reveal 5 profound Jungian signs of hidden love, indicators not of superficial attraction, but of a deep, secret pull she cannot fully disguise. Each sign is a thread woven by the unconscious, waiting for you to recognize the pattern beneath the silence. Sign 1. Her eyes linger longer than words allow. In Jung's psychology, the eyes often reveal what the conscious mind cannot. They are messengers of the unconscious, betraying truths that the ego tries to suppress. When a woman secretly loves you, her gaze carries a kind of intensity that escapes ordinary attention. She may look at you when she thinks you are not watching, or her eyes may soften in your presence, betraying an intimacy she does not speak. Sometimes she glances away quickly, her shadow, the part of her that fears rejection, pulling her back into concealment. This paradox, longing and withdrawal, is the unconscious at war with itself. Her anima, the inner archetype of connection and feeling, moves you toward her. Her conscious self, protective and cautious, retreats. The result is a gaze that flickers with both tenderness and restraint, revealing more than words ever could. If her eyes linger, or if they retreat too quickly in your presence, it is not emptiness, it is the silent storm of hidden affection. Sign 2. She creates subtle pathways toward you. Love rarely begins with declarations. It begins with proximity. Jung taught that unconscious desire shapes behavior in symbolic ways. When affection is hidden, it often appears as a quiet gravitational pull, subtle choices that keep her close to you. She may position herself near you in group settings without drawing attention to it. She may find small reasons to reach out, a shared joke, a casual question, a message that seems ordinary but carries undertones of presence. These gestures are rarely calculated. They are the unconscious arranging opportunities for connection. Even avoidance can be a pathway. Sometimes she will withdraw not because she doesn't care, but because her emotions overwhelm her. The shadow whispers, "Hide, protect yourself." And so she oscillates, warmth one moment, distance the next. If you notice a pattern of small, consistent openings, moments where she creates threads of connection, it is often the unconscious revealing what the ego cannot say. Sign 3. Her emotional energy changes around you. The psyche speaks not only in words, but in atmosphere, the energy a person carries. Jung described this as the way archetypes animate us, flooding us with emotions when activated. When a woman secretly loves you, her emotional energy shifts in your presence. Perhaps she becomes more animated, her laughter richer, her presence brighter, as though something in her awakens when you arrive. Or perhaps she grows quieter, more self-conscious, her usual confidence subdued by the gravity of her feelings. Both patterns reveal the same truth. You alter her emotional field. Love hidden does not remain neutral. It distorts her balance, making her more alive, more nervous, or more vulnerable in your presence. Watch for inconsistency. Around others, she may be steady, composed. Around you, she is subtly transformed. This shift is not performance. It is the unconscious anima stirred, betraying the depth of her unspoken affection. Sign 4. She shows you her shadow in fragments. Jung taught that intimacy is not built on perfection, but on the willingness to reveal the shadow, the vulnerable, hidden, or imperfect parts of ourselves. When a woman secretly loves you, one of the surest signs is that she begins, often cautiously, to show you her shadow in fragments. She may confess small insecurities, reveal moments of doubt, or let you glimpse the softer undercurrent beneath her public persona. Sometimes it appears as nervous mistakes, slips of honesty, or self-deprecating humor. What she hides from the world, she risks showing to you. This is not weakness. It is trust disguised as hesitation. The psyche tests the waters of intimacy slowly, offering pieces of the shadow to see if they will be met with acceptance or judgment. If you notice she is willing to reveal her imperfections in your presence, secrets, flaws, or emotions she guards elsewhere, it is her unconscious signaling love. True hidden affection is not only in the smile, but in the tremble beneath it. Sign 5. She invests in your growth quietly but consistently. Jung's principle of individuation reminds us that real love seeks not possession, but transformation. It wants the other to become more fully themselves. When a woman secretly loves you, she often shows it not in grand confessions, but in small, consistent investments in your becoming. She may encourage your dreams, celebrate your victories with unusual enthusiasm, or challenge you when you diminish yourself. Her words may be subtle, even casual, but her energy carries a quiet devotion. She sees who you are becoming, and she wants to support it. Unlike superficial attraction, which seeks validation, hidden love seeks expansion. She does not simply want your attention, she wants your growth. And though she may not say, "I love you," she shows it by standing guard at the edges of your potential, nudging, affirming, or even silently rooting for you when you cannot see yourself clearly. This is the essence of Jungian anima energy, the nourishing force of the feminine expressed not through possession, but through life-giving presence.
The beauty of Jung's psychology is that it does not leave us in theory. It asks us to look inward and outward, to notice, to integrate, to act with awareness. Now that we've uncovered the 5 signs of hidden love, the question becomes, how do you actually recognize and respond to them without projection, without self-deception, and without missing the gift before you? Here are the principles of application, drawn directly from Jungian wisdom. 1. Cultivate the witness. See without projection. Jung warned that most of what we see in others is projection, the mirror of our own unconscious desires. If you believe someone secretly loves you, pause. Step into the role of the witness. Observe without rushing to conclusions. Ask yourself, am I seeing her actions clearly, or am I projecting my hunger for love onto her? When you strip away fantasy and remain grounded in observation, the real signs become sharper, unmistakable. 2. Listen beneath the words, the language of the unconscious. The unconscious rarely speaks directly. It leaks through tone, gestures, silences, and slips. When she hides her love, you won't find it in dramatic declarations, but in fragments. A change in voice when she says your name, the way her body shifts closer in unguarded moments, the micro-expressions she cannot rehearse. To recognize this language, you must slow down. Pay attention to pauses, to hesitation, to the way her energy bends toward you when she forgets herself. The unconscious whispers. Only those who listen hear it. 3. Test the depth. Offer safe openings. If you suspect hidden love, do not corner her with demands or blunt questions. Jung taught that the psyche opens gradually, like a flower, only in safe conditions. You create those conditions by offering small invitations, moments where her feelings can safely surface. This could be as simple as sharing a personal story, a vulnerability, or a dream. If her affection is real, she will mirror your openness, leaning into the intimacy you extend. This is the dance of trust, never forced, always invited. 4. Accept the shadow with grace. When she shows you imperfections, fears, or flaws, do not flinch. This is the shadow revealing itself, her unconscious saying, I trust you with the parts I fear the world will reject. Respond with acceptance, not correction. Honor her courage to reveal. When you do, you transform hidden love into safe love, love that no longer needs to hide in shadows. 5. Nurture her investment by growing yourself. If she quietly invests in your growth, encouraging, affirming, even challenging you, do not ignore it. Recognize it as one of the highest expressions of love. The best response is not to become dependent on her support, but to grow into the man who honors it. Let her investment in you become fuel for your own individuation. In doing so, you show that her love is not misplaced. It is part of something larger, something transformative. 6. Balance desire with discernment. Finally, remember Jung's deepest warning. The unconscious is powerful, but not always benevolent. Not every sign of hidden love should lead to pursuit. Sometimes she hides her feelings for a reason: fear, circumstance, or inner conflict. Your task is not to force love into the light, but to discern whether this love, if revealed, would be healthy, mutual, and life-giving. Wisdom is knowing when to move closer and when to let silence remain sacred. To truly apply this knowledge, you must shift from seeking validation to seeking truth. The signs are not about ego gratification. She loves me. They are about recognizing the movements of the unconscious and deciding with clarity how to honor them. Love that hides is still love, but only conscious love brought into the light can transform you both. Hidden love is not just about romance. It is about the mysteries of the soul. What we call attraction, Jung might call the psyche's secret attempt at individuation, the unconscious seeking wholeness through the other. When she loves you in silence, when her affection hides in glances, in hesitations, in sacrifices unspoken, know this: you are not simply witnessing her feelings, you are witnessing a dialogue between two unconscious worlds. Perhaps she is your Anima, the feminine archetype within you, stirring to life through her presence. Perhaps you are her mirror, the masculine she both fears and longs for. The dance is ancient. It belongs to myth, to the archetypes, to the timeless theater of human becoming. But here lies the truth. Hidden love is not meant to remain hidden forever. It is an invitation to courage, to honesty, to consciousness. The psyche does not whisper in vain. If you listen with discernment, if you act with grace, you will find that beneath secrecy lies something eternal. The call of love not as possession, but as awakening. If this truth resonates with you, don't walk alone. Step into the circle. Subscribe, share your reflections below, and join a community devoted to psychological awakening and authentic power. Together, let's bring what hides in the shadows into the light.